Hello, friends. Welcome to this lecture on Aristotle's concept of tragedy. First of all, good day to all of you. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher, and in Greece at that time, either a person could become a political leader, or he could become an orator, or he could become a poet. So, Aristotle has written three works related to these three professions. For political leadership, he has written a work with the title Politics. He gives the tips to become a good orator in his work Rhetoric, and he has expressed his views on various forms of writing in his work Poetics, whose main concern is tragedy, though he also talks about other forms of writing like epic and comedy. Poetics is based on tragedy. First of all, Aristotle defines tragedy and he gives one of the most authentic definition of tragedy. Though a layman differentiates a tragedy from other plays on the basis of ending, that is, if the ending is unhappy and sorrowful, then it is tragedy. But Aristotle in Poetics gives quite a comprehensive definition of tragedy that differentiates it from other forms of writing like epic and comedy. He defines tragedy as the imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and having certain magnitude with the aim to produce the feeling of pity and fear. First of all, epic. First of all, tragedy is action that differentiates it from epic because in epic the medium of imitation is narration and not action. Then Aristotle says that tragedy should be serious, which differentiates it from comedy because the main aim of comedy is to provide light and healthy entertainment, and mostly it is on healthy and light themes. Aristotle also talks about other forms of art like music, painting, and sculpture, and he differentiates all the form of writings from other arts like music, painting, and sculpture on the basis of the medium of imitation because in writing the medium of imitation is language, words, and phrases, while in music the medium of imitation is musical notes, and in painting the medium of imitation is sketches, pencils, and colors. And similarly, in sculpture, the medium of imitation is either rock or wood or plaster of Paris. He defines tragedy imitation of an action that is serious, which differentiates it from comedy, have certain magnitude, in the form of action which differentiates it from epic, which is in narration, and it should be complete. What is the meaning of completion? Aristotle implies by the term complete that a play should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Then Aristotle defines a tragedy into basic components like plot, character, thought, diction, spectacle, and song. He considers plot as the most significant component of a tragedy, so he considers plot as the soul of tragedy. And he even believes that there can be a tragedy without a character but not without a plot. As a living being cannot survive without a soul, similarly, a tragedy also cannot survive without a plot. He comes to the definition of plot. He defines plot as the logical and harmonious combination of events and episodes leading to the evocation of the feeling of pity and fear in the audience. The next important component is character because the action takes place through characters. First of all, character should be eminently good, particularly the protagonist of a tragedy. He should be a prominently a prominent man with eminence, and he should have greater proportion of goodness in him. Then only he can command the attention and sympathy of the audience. The tragic character should be mixture of virtues and vices because if the protagonist of a tragedy will be totally good, then also he will not appear natural, and if he is totally bad or evil, then also he will not appear natural, because in a natural world even the worst human being has some goodness, and even the best human being suffers from some evil or vice. So the most pragmatic or ideal tragic hero will be that person who is mixture of virtues and vice, and only such a person can command the attention of the audience. The tragedy occurs not due to the vice or shortcomings in the main character, but due to some wrong decision or some wrong step that has been taken by the main character, which leads to his ruin and fall. This wrong step or wrong decision is considered as tragic flaw or fatal flaw. To give an example of the play Oedipus Rex, Oedipus does not know that in his innocence he has committed the sin of patricide, that is, killing his own father, because he does not know that the kingdom that he is attacking is ruled by his father, and in the battle he kills his own father, and then according to the Greek tradition, the winner or the victor marries all the queens of the defeated king. So he commits another sin of adultery when he marries his own mother. Then the character should be consistent. Aristotle even says that if inconsistency is one of the feature of the character of a tragedy, then he should be consistently inconsistent throughout the play. Otherwise, character should behave in his natural manner. The king should act like a king and beggar should act like a beggar. Then only he will appear natural and belonging to this world, and then only he will be able to command the attention of the audience. Aristotle also talks about the functions of tragedy. The function of tragedy is to produce the feeling of pity and fear. Now, how the pity is produced? Pity is produced at the undeserved sufferings of the main character. as the main character contains certain virtues, certain good qualities, so audience are able to sympathize with him when he is sinned more against than sinning, when the proportion of his punishment is much greater than the sin or the evil that he has committed. The element of fear comes when the main character appears natural and belonging to this world. Otherwise, the audience will think that such a tragedy may happen in the world of angels or the world of devils, but it cannot happen in the world of human beings. So, the main character of a tragedy should appear like the man of this world, then only the feeling of fear will be produced in the audience when they will be able to identify with the main character that and when they will think that today this is happening to him, tomorrow it may happen to me too. Aristotle has given a term to denote the function of tragedy, and this term is catharsis. Though Aristotle has mentioned the term catharsis, but he has left it unexplained. Perhaps Aristotle wanted to write a similar works on comedy and epic also, and in those works he perhaps intended to explain the term catharsis, but either Aristotle could not get time in his life to complete these works, or these works are lost to the modern world. So, as the term catharsis has been left unexplained, so it has become one of the most controversial terms of English literature. Another significant component of tragedy is thought, which can be defined as statement or premise that author endeavors to prove or disprove through the action of the play. It can also be defined as the theme or message that author wants to convey effectively to the viewers through the action of the play. Then comes the component diction, which means language, and it is determined by thought or the theme. Diction can be defined as the choice of words and phrases that author selects to convey his thoughts to the audience effectively. Then comes the last component of tragedy, stage spectacle. Though it is more related to stage director than the author, but still it has got importance as it enhances the entertainment value of the play and as it helps in producing the desired impact effectively on the audience with the help of various light and sound accessories. Thank you very much for listening to this lecture. Good day to all of you once again. I hope you have liked today's lecture, and I hope you will find the coming lectures also interesting. Thank you once again.